tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Bradham Emery in the morning. Marques Bradham, Justin Emery.
Yo. What's going on, man? How you doing today? Mr. Marcus B tweeting over there.
Yeah. I'm just,
How you doing?
I'm all right. Can't complain,
I had a great weekend. How was your weekend?
Wasn't bad. Pretty good. A lot of family time as usual in a pandemic.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had a great weekend. I was out here settling scores all weekend long and winning across the board.
Really? Look at you.
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
Okay.
It was a great weekend. Today was also a wild day in history. Now, usually I only do two, one sports, one non-sports.
Right.
But I had a hard time deciphering today.
We weren't here yesterday, so hey,
okay.
let's enter the clip.
Okay, so number one. Daylight savings time was instituted in 1942 today.
Wow. That's daylight saving time is war related, right?
World War II, yeah.
Yeah. It was because of the war when things were nice. Hey, let's move it back a little bit so we have more time to fight.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to see you guys before we kill you.
Why
do we still do that, by the way?
It's
like I don't
infuriating.
It really is, and I guess I understand why they were doing it back then, but I feel like the war's over, and we probably should move on from that tactic and just have it, because it really is hard. Like, really, it's the winter time is the hard part. Like, the idea of getting dark at 4:30 is not ideal. Like, I'm a person who likes to see light after 4:30. 4:30, 5:30. Like, I enjoy light during those times.
I hate the winter. Why do you think I moved to Vegas?
I understand. I know you're a winter hater.
I hate winter. Also, 1964.
Okay.
Ed Sullivan Show. The Beatles.
The Beatles episode.
Yes.
One of the most famous episodes of television in the history of television.
Yes.
The Beatles coming to Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan, for those of you who don't know, was like the original Tonight Show. Like, that was where it was at back in the day. Like, if you were anybody, you went to Ed Sullivan. Then it transformed from Ed Sullivan to Johnny Carson. Then Johnny Carson to Jay Leno and Conan for 5 minutes. And then I felt bad for Conan. I knew, like, his type. I love Conan, but his type of humor was not made for 75-year-old grandmas. Like, they don't want to see you, Conan. I'm sorry. Like, that's like needs to be a different level of cheesiness that Conan's not. Like, Conan O'Brien worked for The Simpsons. Like, he's a different level of humor. So him having a Tonight Show never made sense. And and Jay Leno didn't help him out anyway, because Jay Leno was literally like he had that borderline where, like, he was like the guy that grandma and grandpa wanted to see in their bedroom at night. Not Conan O'Brien.
And then last one, the 92 NBA All-Star Game.
Magic. He was there.
He
wanted to be there.
He
I remember. No, that was during that time. That was crazy. That was his first game back, after announcing HIV, and like, that was when, like, we looked at AIDS as we looked at, like, COVID-19 today. Like, I don't want to belittle AIDS in any stretch of the imagination today, but it's not nearly the polarizing disease that people thought it was back then. Like, it was a death sentence. So the idea of Magic playing that game was a huge deal. And I remember the shot where it's like 10 seconds left. Magic has a ball out front, not known as being a great three-point shooter, shoots a three dead in Isaiah Thomas's eye, and then pumps the fist. And they stopped the game. They were like, "This is over. We're good." It was a feel-good moment.
Yeah,
good for Magic.
I hear. I hate these. I'm fighting these headphones over here.
Yeah, I see you. You're in a battle.
I am. I will win this battle, though. But I'm really hating these headphones right now. I will win.
Big day in history. I like it.
Yeah.
So we did something yesterday. No, it's not time yet. No,
Yeah.
no. We're not starting here. No. I don't want to start. This is on the docket, but I don't want to start here. I don't want to start
I've
here.
been stewing on this for 4 hours.
I don't want to start.
I have to get this out.
No, I don't want to start here.
You have to.
I don't want to. Oh, Carson, what is going on?
Get out.
What is happening?
Get out. I'm done.
Oh.
Who does he think he is?
All right. So,
Listen, I've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning just stewing on this. It has to come out.
if we're going to do
I'm
this,
losing my mind over here.
If we're going to do this, we need to it's a very simple question I need to ask.
I'm out.
So we're now being led to believe that Doug wanted Carson, and the administration did not want Carson. That's now how this is being slanted. That's what we're being told. Like, do you believe that?
I'm over this story. Can we?
What is that? But like, think about that.
Look,
First of all, that doesn't make sense to me
Thing is-
at all.
your take went down a much different path than mine was. I was simply just going to say, get out.
Leave.
Just get out. Just out. I'm done.
Do you believe this is happening this week? Are you on that? Are you on the "this is happening soon" train? I'm not. I'll spoiler. I'm not.
I believe. When are the league meetings? Like the beginning of
March. Yeah.
There you go.
That's when you think it's happening?
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening this week either.
It's gonna take them all being in the same place.
Vicinity, yeah.
Yeah. This isn't gonna happen over the phone or over Zoom or anything like that. This is gonna take them all being at the same location.
It's just weird with him. Like, I don't understand why he's so upset. Like, why is he so mad now? I'm not talking about like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Did you hear the report?
Why are you mad now?
Did you hear the report about what I believe it was a scout said?
No.
Quote, it wouldn't matter if they hired Frank Wright
Yeah, I did hear that.
to be the coach.
I know that came from
He's
a scout,
out.
but I did hear that.
Yeah, I believe it came from a scout.
But to me, like, is this just about the Hurt situation? Is that what this is really about? Because listen, if I'm not saying it was obviously the right move, like what Doug did. However, are you this big of a child? Like, if I'm an NFL franchise, watching how he's reacting to this situation and the adversity in this situation, and I have cause for pause, like, about the mental makeup of Carson Wentz. Like, this, like, listen, we get it. No quarterback likes you drafting, when you're supposed to be the franchise quarterback, no one likes being a quarterback being drafted that could theoretically be your replacement or your competition. We get it. We saw how Tom Brady reacted in New England. We saw how Aaron Rodgers reacted in Green Bay. We know about the Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre situation. We know about Randall Cunningham and Jim McMahon 25 years ago. Randall Cunningham and Rodney Peete. We know about all that. We get it. Don McNabb and Michael Vick in 2009. We get all of that. However, you know the difference of this situation and those situations? They didn't turn and run. They all stood and fought. They weren't happy, but they stood and fought. And the quarterbacks that I named, all those quarterbacks I just named, are far more accomplished than 11. All of them. They're all more accomplished than him. So where do you get off demanding a trade and basically saying, listen, I don't care what you guys do. I'm not going to be here.
I'm not going to be here.
I don't care what you guys do. I'm not playing. It's not happening. And I'm not talking. Just tell me when I've been traded. Like, who are you? Like, you know what's crazy? It's like Deshaun Watson, right? He's getting all this criticism, and everyone's like, "Oh, you should stay." Blah, 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 blah. Are you kidding me? Deshaun Watson, I understand far more than Carson Wentz. It's a mess. It's a mess out there. An absolute mess out there in Houston. They took away his number one receiver. They are not committed to winning. They have no idea what they're doing to the franchise. He's putting up career numbers.
They have no clue what they're doing.
They have no clue what they're doing. He had a career year last year. Career year with Drek. So of course, so him wanting to be out makes much more sense to me than Carson wanting to be out. But with people, it's like, oh, Carson, we understand. It's okay, Carson. You don't want to play anymore. It's fine.
I don't understand.
Am I just crazy, or like, did he have a horrendous year this past year? Like horrendous.
Yeah.
So where do you get off having as bad? Like, you are supposed to be the franchise quarterback, bro. You're supposed to be the franchise quarterback, but you did your best Jared Goff impression this year, throwing the ball all over the place, fumbling, throwing it wherever you wanted to throw it, like you were playing rugby while everyone was playing football. You thought you were in a scrum, just getting rid of the ball.
I love when you talk about Jared Goff. It's my favorite thing. I could listen to you talk about Jared Goff all day.
Jared Goff makes some of the most irrational football decisions I've ever seen on a football field. It's just completely irrational. But that's what Carson was doing this year. You look like he made plays. Yo, do you remember the play against the Cowboys where he rolled out in a bootleg, waved his hand down the field, and didn't understand there were 3 linemen closing into his space, and just got smashed for an 18-yard loss? Like, that's something that happens like backyards. Like, I didn't know they were that close. Like, do you need an objects are closer than they appear sign on your helmet?
They might.
Like, this is a thing like I can't defend. Like, I get it, bro. You were embarrassed by being benched. Your pride, like, you have your pride. Yeah, of course. Your pride is part of the reason that got you to this elite level of being an NFL quarterback. You got to be a little prideful. You got to have pride in yourself. I get all of that. But how can you not see that the real reason why you weren't playing is because you sucked? That's why you weren't playing. It wasn't a conspiracy against you. You were terrible. You were straight dumpster juice for like 9 weeks, and we had to sit there.
Yo, I don't need Gruden's quarterback cam when I got you. This is all I need.
Like, we had to sit here and watch you. Well, you did this. Whenever you put the music on, it puts me in a different mode. We had to sit here and watch this for 8 to 9 weeks of you just being horrendous, and that's how Jalen Hurts got in the game. That's how it happened, because at the end of the day, what else was really there to do? What else was to do? You were absolutely horrible. Doug never said any, and the thing is, you know what's crazy? Is that Doug supported Carson during this whole time. He didn't throw him under the bus. Hey, Carson's our guy. He's going through a tough time. We're going to figure it out. That's pretty much his answer for like 2 months. And then finally he was like, you know what? F it. He's terrible. Jalen, warm up. Like, it comes to a point, and then you put all of that, and I'm going to throw the main ingredient in the pot. They're telling you what to do, and you're intentionally not doing it and sucking in the process of not doing it. Like, it's not like your audibles were working.
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely weren't working.
They weren't. So you were intentionally ignoring their advice, going against their conventional wisdom, because you thought you knew better, and you didn't know better. You didn't know anything at all. That's, to me, why this is so baffling, how we're here, and how he has the audacity. You know what? Get out.
That's what I'm saying.
Just
that's what I was saying.
Pack your bags. Pack your camo bags and get out. Get out. Get out. Leave. Don't come. Like I've now, like, after saying all the things. Sometimes in life it's interesting where you start talking, and everything you say, it makes you angrier, and then finally you're like, well, what am I doing here? Just leave. That's how I feel. You need to go, because I don't want someone here that has this type of mentality, that thinks this way, that can be as arrogant to think that you can't see the fault. And this is what everyone's – Malcolm Jenkins is supposed to be a friend of his. And this is what everyone's saying the same things is that, like, Carson has a hard time holding himself accountable. It's never his fault. It's always everyone else's fault. Well, listen, I personally can't work with someone like that. You got to be able to be accountable and understand that at some point you're going to mess up.
Except if you're me.
Except for you.
And that's just where you confuse your co-host's first and last name as being two different people.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like I just feel at this point now I can say that the Eagles have done everything to try to make him happy.
I'm so glad that the season's over. I wish they would go away for a little bit, but I know that they're not.
No. This is going to be an ongoing saga for the next 4 or 5 months because, you know, after he does they've got to get this done as fast as possible. This didn't even move on because these stories, this is being leaked by them to try to make it feel like in case he gets traded out of the blue, they want to make sure the public is on their side.
Yeah, why does it look like nothing makes sense over there every time a story comes out?
Because, well, look what happened this past week. We are now going in a completely different direction. We've done a complete 180 and going completely the opposite way. Now Doug wanted Hurts.
Let me ask you this.
And I'm sorry, now Doug wanted Carson they wanted Hurts.
Have you ever worked in an NFL front office?
I have not.
Okay, neither have I. I promise you, if either one of us was running the operation, it would not be this disorganized.
No. It's the functional mess. And, like, I go back to the owner because I don't know. Listen, I feel like Jeffrey Lurie needs to go to therapy. Because whatever Chip Kelly did to him, like, he needs to lay on someone's couch and talk about the Christmas party. Because, a lot of what's going on here is because he has turned the keys over to someone that should not have the keys. Like, do you realize, like, every head coach that we've had since Roseman has been here have hated him? Yeah. Like, every coach has hated him. And, like, again, I go back to when –
I hate him.
I go back to when Andy Reid was here. Andy Reid did everything, and that was okay. Jeffrey Lurie loved that. Andy Reid handled every aspect of the organization from a football standpoint, every aspect. And Jeffrey Lurie, like you saw him, like I said, like once a year. He'd do his,
state of the team,
right? State of the team address, and that's all you saw him, unless you saw him in the box, clapping awkwardly.
Binoculars.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's a bad clapper. He has no rhythm at all. No, like his claps are so dysfunctional. Like. They call Jason Garrett the clapper, but at least he has a rhythm. At least his claps look like they make sense. Jeffrey Lurie has no rhythm at all.
No.
But anyway, so because of that, we fast forward today, and now it's just like he is so just like struck in the heart by what happened with Chip Kelly. Now it's just like
you can even hear it the way he talks. He's like, I want someone who cares.
Right.
Man,
right.
If you're bringing me chip after chip after chip,
right.
I don't care if you don't talk. I don't even care if you don't know my name.
Right, and you look, and the thing is, like, I would love to at some point really dive into the Chip Kelly regime. I know we kind of did it a little bit.
I mean, it was only 2 years. It's not that much.
Right, but, like, you look at a lot of offenses around the NFL. Do you look a little different than – do they look anything different than the Eagles in 2013?
No.
And, Chip was ahead of his time. And, listen, with anything, when you're ahead of your time, you're going to look crazy. People are going to think you're crazy. And, like, but there was a reason why that Bill Belichick was ringing Chip Kelly's phone line before Chip even got to the NFL about some of the things he was doing at Oregon. And, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've said a lot.
You look stressed out.
I am. Because now after
here's what it comes down to. You don't have football people in place making football decisions.
Yes.
You have business people making football decisions.
I agree.
And football people making business decisions.
Yes.
And that's why it doesn't
work.
Like
Jeffrey Lurie has no business being in a football meeting for any reason whatsoever.
No, if he
I wouldn't even allow him to sit there.
If he walked into like the defensive game planning room, and if I was, I know he's not. Who's our defense coordinator now?
Gannon. Gannon. What's Steve Gannon?
We hired somebody new, right?
Yeah, I know his last name's Gannon.
Okay,
Sorry.
so new guy, don't know who he is. Jim Schwartz. If last year, if Jeffrey Lurie walks in, I'm Jim Schwartz. I'm looking at him like, can I
help you?
Can I help you?
I agree. Joe Gannon.
Joe Gannon. Now, another thing about Chip is that if he was only the head coach, I think it would have worked out better.
I 1,000% agree.
But
when they decided to give him football operations, that's when
it went downhill. Because he's not necessarily a great evaluator of talent. Now, granted, he is the only person that went to Byron Jones, corner from Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only person that went to his pro day, though.
Yeah.
It was Chip Kelly. So he did spot that.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at him when he was coaching at Oregon, he had good players.
Right.
He never had great players.
It was a great scheme, a great system.
He found guys that fit within it, and his whole thing was based around speed, fast, go, tire you out, boom, boom, boom.
Which made no sense why he got rid of all his speed.
And yes, but in college, it's easy because you have 80-man rosters.
Right.
And at your powerhouse schools, when one guy goes down, you have another 5-star recruit right behind him.
Yeah.
So at Oregon, it was like, okay, let me sub out my second-round running back for my fifth-round running back.
Right.
Boom, boom. In the NFL, you have a much more limited. So Vic has said it before in that first game against Washington. He's like, I was in there at halftime, gassed, like I just played the whole game.
Well, you look at like that first half against Washington, and like when they went to halftime, the analysts
I was tired.
The analysts were just like, what just happened?
What did we just watch?
What was that? Because it was something the NFL had never seen before, but it worked. It worked. Now, you have to ask if you played defense how you felt about that, because a 3-and-out could be kind of rough. Like for an offense, but that could be kind of rough. So I don't know how defenders thought about that.
Well,
but like when that offense was clicking, man, it was special.
They did not have a good defense though.
No.
At that, so if you had a good defense that could then turn around and give you
the ball back,
like what if you're tired if your offense is a 3-and-out.
Yeah.
But if you just came off a 3-and-out,
right,
and you go and get another one,
right,
it's not that bad.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but at the end of the day, when it comes to Carson, it's just I completely changed my stance.
I'm gonna cut that that sound clip of you being get out, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Just leave. Just we
be like Magic Johnson. I ain't gonna be here.
We don't need this anymore. We don't need you here anymore. Just go away. You're a beta. That's pretty much it. I don't know what to say.
I mean, I co-sign everything.
But like I said, I do believe. I don't think this is happening this week. I think you're right. It's more on par with the winter meetings, or that's baseball. But
whenever
whenever their
off-season
all-season meetings are, which usually early March, I think was probably something to get done. I think people are. I mean,
why is he number one trending right now?
Cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well. We're going to probably be seeing that a lot in the next couple of days. A lot of people with the rumors.
It's Adam Schefter. It's just Adam Schefter out here retweeting nonsense.
Schefter. So where do you?
I'm starting to hate that guy a little bit.
Yeah, he's not my favorite. Where do you think? Before we get a break, where do you think he ends up? Is it with the Colts? Is it with the Bears? Is it somewhere else?
So I think I have 3 answers for this. I have what I want him to go, so I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Where he's going to end up, and that is whoever has the highest price.
Mm-hmm.
But where I think he's going to end up is Chicago.
I mean, that seems to, because then he's back with DeFilippo. You got Matt Nagy, who's
If you bring Nick Foles back, though, I'm going to lose my mind.
I refuse to believe that is truth. That just can't be a thing. I refuse to believe that is true.
If he comes back, that is not being discussed on this show.
Why would you?
I will get up and I'll walk out if I hear his name.
But real quick, why would you want to put Jalen Hurts in the same position that caused so much confusion for the other regime?
why would you do it to the other regime in the first place?
Could you imagine? Like
yes, I can. Yes, I can.
GM of Chicago. Hey, so listen, we're gonna do 2 first, and then we'll. Want Nick back? I mean, no.
I promise you, Howie
Absolutely
Roseman
not.
would do that.
Of course he would, because this is where we're at. I have a dark horse team.
Okay.
We're gonna break. I think if you're the Miami Dolphins, you take a little look-see, you make a run, because they are set up. They are set up to win now, and like if you can't get, so the best option is Deshaun Watson if you're out there trying to get a quarterback and bring one in. But like Houston keeps saying they're not trading him.
And the thing is, why would you trade Deshaun Watson for Wentz when Deshaun Watson has a much better contract?
Yeah.
I understand that you want to, the Texans don't want to trade him.
Yeah, they're saying they're not doing it.
But if push comes to shove and they have to do it, I'm not trading him for Wentz.
Oh, no, I agree. Absolutely not.
And back to what you said about the Dolphins.
I mean, I would be happy, but
yeah,
I don't think it makes sense for them.
The Dolphins, they're not sold on Tua.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not sold on him either. So if I'm Miami,
I wasn't. I mean, you know who I wanted.
Take a look to it.
My man he walked away with Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, I was pounding the table for him.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Miami as my dark horse. But we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we got Twitty because it's Tuesday. Brad Emery in the morning. Marcus Brad, Justin Emery. We're right back. Hi, I'm Marcus Brad. I'm here to talk to you today about Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium quality gourmet ice cream and sorbet. Made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available, Uncle Mike features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster. It's open all year round, serving you happiness one scoop at a time. Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy's has a plethora of pizza for your munching pleasure, specialty pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, taco, and plenty more. If it's sandwiches you're into, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options, but they are also available on Grubhub. Amy's is located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Call them at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000.
Yeah, man. Branham and Emery in the morning. Marcus Branham, Justin Emery. Tuesday, get your tinfoil hats on. Marcus just got his. He's ready to go.
I had to run get it.
You know what that means. It's Tuesdays with Twitty. We got him on the line.
Yes,
Twitty
sir.
from Twitty and the Brand. Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
What up, boys? Just adjusted my hat here.
There you go.
Very nice. Very nice.
I had to go find mine. I put it in the closet.
That's good. You don't want people to know it's hanging around. That's
Exactly.
when you find out that they're with the G-Men.
Facts.
Oh, man. They're coming in looking for you.
They always are, man. They always are.
So what? So the podcast came back this week.
Yes, it did. We broke down Django Unchained, which we'd been looking forward to since early December. We had originally planned to do it, but now the theme song is stuck in my head again. Like it just does not let go.
What you got lined up for this week?
So we're doing something a little lesser known. It's a collection of horror and sci-fi short films from Oat Studios, which is run by Neil Blomkamp of District 9 fame. But yeah, it's just like an hour-and-a-half collection of like their early short story work.
Gotcha. Now, I barely watched any TV in the last week that wasn't the Sixers or the Super Bowl. But what I'm sure you got some recommendations for us. What you got us on the streaming front for us?
So I get two things. First up, I'll give you something I'm revisiting, and that is Love on Netflix. It's created by Judd Apatow, and I think maybe a little more than loosely based on him and his wife Leslie Mann's courtship. But it's hilarious, and some parts are just like so cringy it hurts, but in the best way. You know, it's one of those shows.
Okay.
And other than that, I've got one. It's a little obvious, but we haven't talked about it here on the show yet, and that's WandaVision. Marvel is back, and they're killing it yet again.
I have seen a lot of people talking about it. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that people are enjoying it.
I just needed Marvel content back in my life ASAP, and I'm happy that happened.
I'm a front runner when it comes to superheroes. I'm like much more into like the Batmans and of the world and that type of thing. I've seen Iron Man, but like I'm much more of a front runner.
I don't know, man. On the movie side in the last decade, I think being a DC fan is just a recipe for disappointment.
I'm not gonna argue with you there. I'm not happy.
Snyder
I'm
Cut
not happy.
coming, though. March 18th.
I mean, let's be honest. Like when it comes to the Batman franchise, it should have just stopped after Christian Bale.
I agree.
Nolan and Bale killed that trilogy.
Yeah, they like the whole like the Batman Begins to the Dark Knight to Dark Knight Rises. Like, what can you do after that?
Nothing.
Like, there's nothing to be done. Like the Orta Scourge after that, everyone go about their business. And that's how it's been left. So the idea of resurrecting that franchise and giving it to someone else just to me didn't make sense.
Yeah, but
and Batman vs Superman
they had
was
to in order to try and get into this shared universe money printing business.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't get mad at that. And even the Batman Superman was disappointing also.
The director's cut's better, but it's still got problems. But like it actually feels like a cohesive story, unlike the theatrical cut.
Yeah. Superman is to me the most disappointing superhero of all time when it comes to movies. Like,
it's hard to make a compelling story for him.
How do you take something that powerful and turn him to the biggest dork of mankind? like you look at the Christopher Reeves, rest in peace, Superman, and like the way he played the character. Like there's no like I always wanted to be Batman, and that's not right. I should want to be Superman, not Batman. Like, everyone should want to be Superman, but no one wants to be Superman.
No, everybody wants to be Batman.
You ever play superheroes with your friends? It was like fist fights over... I want to be
Dr. Manhattan, personally, but of those two, I'm going to take Superman.
Yeah, but like you were getting, like, arguing, like, no, I'm going to be Batman. No, I'm going to be Batman. No one wanted to be Superman. No. I don't want to be Superman. Like, that's not right.
I feel like most people, they wouldn't want to be Superman, but you say you get the Superman power set and you can do whatever with that, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, sign me up. I don't want to be a hokey nerd. Right.
Because if you read the comic books, Superman's represented very well. But when it comes to screen, Superman's a classic fail.
Also, like you bring up those Reeves movies, like 1 and 2 were amazing, but they made some real weird choices in 3 and 4.
Yes, they went to some weird places. I agree.
Although I'm not upset that Richard Pryor was in 3. That was okay. I was on board with that choice.
Random, but you can't be mad at it.
Twitty, you a beef jerky fan?
To an extent, I'm picky. I'll tell you that.
We got a spot for you to check out.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Lay it on me.
Yes, Beef Jerky Outlet Langhorne. Check them out online. Big.
I'm always a fan of someone with outlet in the name because I feel like I'm about to come up at a very reasonable price.
Oh,
That's so true.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
You are. The come up is huge. They have, the thing is, you said you're picky. Well, you're not a lot to pick from because they have options out the wazoo. Any kind of jerky you can
nothing
think
like
of.
options, man.
Yeah, any kind of jerky you can think of, any kind of flavors you can think of. I used the analogy last week. It's the Kansas City Chiefs offense, not the Super Bowl, but before the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say it's a bad week for that bit.
Yeah, before it was pretty much how you want to score. You want Kelsey down the middle. You want Tyreek Hill on the outside. You want a little Coleman. You got it. You're just core. It's all delicious.
Awesome. I will definitely have to check that out.
For sure. And then time for the main course.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. All right, I got a doozy for you today.
Oh boy.
Let's get it.
In the early 1940s, President Roosevelt became concerned about the potential of a catastrophic event happening that would require moving large masses of people away from population centers. In the years since, this idea has become the basis for one of the best arguments for the massive expenses that national space programs incur. One day in 100 years, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, humanity will see a world-ending catastrophic event, and hopefully we're going to have established a backup home by then. But what this theory posits is perhaps we're more ahead of the game than you think. This is the secret space program. There's a growing belief among internet conspiracy theorists that humanity, and more specifically the U.S. government, is already working on what you call breakaway civilizations on the moon, Mars, or both. There are a number of quote-unquote first-hand accounts that keep coming out of folks who were recruited, asked, or in some cases taken without their consent to work in already established bases on the moon and Mars. A lot of these people claim that they were either kidnapped by the government or they were selected as a potential candidate before their birth even. As crazy as that is, I think the biggest suspension of disbelief for this theory is the travel. Space travel hasn't exactly grown by leaps and bounds in the years since the space race, at least not in the public eye. But believers in the secret space program theory seem to be convinced that either one of two things are true. Either space travel has become vastly faster and more economical outside of the public eye, or we're making use of a little device called a Stargate. More on that in a future app because I cannot squeeze it in here. Twice in the last 2 decades, hackers have published supposed documents from government detailing bases on Mars that are already functioning, already undergoing vast amounts of research, and already staffed by thousands of people. But the stories never really gained a ton of traction, even within the conspiracy circles. As a matter of fact, in my research for this, it was very tough to find 2 sources that could agree on similar things. So there's not a lot more to share for this, but the too long didn't read. Humans have already got Mars on lock, and that is the secret space program.
I'm in.
We are.
I'm in. I believe it. It's that I'm in.
We are a civilization that is obsessed with people on other planets. Like we are
100%.
obsessed.
It's part of that millennial mindset where, like, you don't care what's going on, you want to know what else is going on.
Right.
What's better happening that I could
It's
be
FOMO.
doing?
Yeah, it's FOMO. Like
Trying to get to these Martian raves, Marcus.
well, I mean, you think about it, and like it is amazing with all the technology that we have. How not even a secret program, just NASA itself. Like, how have we not like done enough to take over another planet?
Right, like you would think,
What?
but just based on the timing of our early space experiments, you'd
Yeah.
think we would have more going on by now.
Right. We kind of
Maybe not this much,
Yeah,
but more.
This is aggressive, but like
Yeah.
we plateaued big time. Probably like, what'd you say, 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah, essentially.
Like we kind of like we're still trying, but like we were moving like really fast. Like you go back to the moon in 1969, like that was like 50 years ago, and then now what? You know, what's the next step? The next big step? I think we're still all waiting for that next huge step when it comes to like space travel and stuff.
Well, so there are a couple current event stories that kind of led to me doing this. The first is that there's a lot of talk about this.
I love
permanent
when
man
stuff's
base.
current.
There's a lot of talk going on right now about the U.S. trying to establish this permanent live-in moon base. And that's one that I'm just like, well, what if it's been in operation for 30 years and one day they're just going to turn on the camera and be like, we did it, guys.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean.
But then also you talk about Elon Musk offering people like loans to get to Mars that they're going to be in indentured servitude to pay back. And I'm like, well, maybe that's already happening.
Right. Well, you think about the moon, too. Like, theoretically, if you could find a nice craft to get you from Earth to the moon, it's only 3 days. 3 days.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, if you went and lived on the moon.
Water besides what you brought, though.
Right. Like, think about that. Like, driving from here to Vegas takes about the same amount of time. A little bit, maybe a little bit longer. So now you're telling me if we can get a nice little craft going, I can live on the moon. Like, yo, guys, come to visit. It's Monday. I'll be there, like, Wednesday. All right. It's not so bad, right?
Wait, are we about to get into a deep?
We're down the rabbit hole. We're down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
We at least have a foot in.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you guys need to put your whole tinfoil suit on for what I'm about to say.
Oh, boy.
Oh, let me adjust. Tie,
Okay.
tinfoil tie, double Windsor.
Okay. So years ago, I was reading this thing online about, people could submit, stories about how they were abducted by aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I was just sitting there scrolling through. But there was one story that I read that always stuck out to me. And this guy was telling a story about how one day he was taking the trash out. He's like, I was taking it down to the curb. And he's like, all of a sudden I looked up and there was a craft. He's like, they abducted me up. He's like, I saw, like they gave me like this wealth of knowledge. He's like, aliens have been coming to our planet for years and enslaving us and giving us eternal life on another planet as a slave to their species.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I believe it.
Sounds like some Heaven's Gate stuff, man.
And the thing is what you just said about being a slave for the loan to Elon Musk or, to get to the moon.
Who is obviously a lizard.
Yeah, that's who they were in the story.
Oh, it's always lizard people, man. It's always lizard people in the story. Every time.
Yeah, you could totally see him ripping off his head and just having a lizard head.
Right.
That could happen.
They did a whole story about him yesterday regarding whether or not he's manipulating the market with his Twitter account. And I was like,
kinda is.
Well, I said to him, I was like, this is someone who basically every 2 or 3 years the SEC investigates him, finds him not guilty, and then rinse and repeat every 2 to 3 years. So he's gonna just taunt you and do whatever he wants.
Facts only.
And that's why I would vote for him if he wanted to be president. Well, I mean, he can't.
Dude,
yeah.
When you have South African diamond money, you can get away with whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that that's where he came from.
Seriously.
Fair. It's fair. I mean, but I'm all in on the secret space. All that. I'm sold. You sold me. I'm not, and it's not even that hard to convince me about that kind of stuff. I'm in.
Elon, get us some seats on the next flight out. What's up?
Let's see what's happening out there.
Yo,
Can I pay for it with Dogecoin? That's the question.
And I have another question. Do you think the gear would work out there? Can we do a remote show?
Hey, one can dream.
I'm trying to be the first podcaster on the Red Planet. I'm into that.
Bro,
that is an on-location of legendary status.
That would be lit.
We'd have to probably supply our own electricity, I'm assuming.
We'll figure it out. You're a great producer. We'll figure it out.
I'm not worried about it.
Or should we just look into opening the first Wawa or Sheets between here and Mars? They got to stop somewhere for snacks.
That's a good point.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
No, I can't argue that either.
Let them know where to follow you at, my friend.
Be sure to check me out on Twitter and the gram at Ultron1321. You can follow the show at Twitty and the Brand on IG and at Twitty and Brand on Twitter. And make sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe everywhere you can.
Excellent. Love it. Look forward to talking to you next week. Bring some time travel back so I can watch can watch Marcus suffer through that again.
I don't know. I gotta spend some time looking through this list of ridiculous sounding things you tweeted at me the other day.
Oh, all those they were all minor league baseball teams.
Oh, I thought they were conspiracy theories.
No. Remember our Vegas 51s conversation where we were talking about elite minor league uniforms?
So you texted the exact words, remember our Vegas 51 conversation. And we've talked about Area 51 plenty of times, so
Yes.
I did not make the connection to the minor league baseball.
Yeah. No, I was referring to the minor league because all of those are outrageous minor league teams.
So now, does that inform you a little bit better on my reply where I said it sounds like you're just throwing darts at words?
Nope. Nope. Because up until you said that you were going to look up everything I sent you, I assumed that we were on the same page.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he totally understands what I'm saying. But I
Still got
understand.
to get me one of those 51s jerseys, though.
Yeah. No, what you need, I'm telling you, you need to go get one of the powder blue Trash Pandas. Get a powder blue Trash Pandas hat. Trust me.
All right.
I might have to get on it.
You do. Catch you next Tuesday.
All right.
All right, man.
Guys.
See ya.
Take it easy.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, a little bit of sad news on the other side. Brad Ramey in the morning, Marcus, Brad, Justin Emery, and be right back. Yeah, man, welcome back. Brad Ramey in the morning, Marcus Brown, Justin Emery.
Yo.
Glad to be back with you. Yeah, a little bit of sad news. Found out this morning, former head coach of the Chiefs, the Chargers, and various other teams, Marty Schottenheimer passed away this morning. Marty Schottenheimer is like synonymous with my childhood in the 90s of one of like those coaches of that generation. Always, his teams were always really, really good. Always made the playoffs. Unfortunately, never won a Super Bowl. But his players loved him. Beloved coach. So rest in peace to Marty Schottenheimer.
Was he the coach when they drafted Phillip Rivers? Chargers 03, 04? I think he was.
I'm going to have to look that up. But you might be right. Because I think he coached Drew Brees. I think he coached. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did.
Marty Schottenheimer. His whole MO was that he'll go 14-2.
Yep.
Get the first round bye, but then lose in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But again, I mean, he was a guy that was beloved by his players. No one really ever had a bad word to say about him. He coached San Diego for 5 seasons. He coached the Chiefs. I would say he's more known to me as the Chiefs head coach.
But when was he with San Diego?
I'm getting there right now. Career as a coach.
Early 2000s.
The Chiefs, yeah, 2002 to 2006.
So yeah, he was there with LT and Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates.
Yep. He also coached the Redskins for a year, 2001. But like I said, I think people most know him from when he was with Kansas City, and when Kansas City was really good in the 90s.
Was that with Trent
89,
Green?
98. He had Trent. He did have Trent Green for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was like I think Steve DeBerg was his quarterback for most of that run. That was like the Derek Thomas. They were more known for defense then. That was like the Derek Thomas Kansas City Chiefs. And like you had Christian Okoye, I think had them for a little bit, and Barry Word on offense. Like so, that's probably I would say probably where people know him the most. But
I heard a funny Derek Thomas story last weekend.
What's that?
Trey Thomas was telling his story.
Mm-hmm.
This was maybe like a week and a half ago.
Okay.
And he was telling about his rookie year going up against Derek Thomas. He's like, veterans were killing me all week during practice. Like, you got Hall of Famer coming in here. Hope you're ready for it.
DT.
He goes, I was so hyped up and so ready for it that I missed other assignments during the game. He's like, but I held Derek Thomas to 0 tackles, 0 sacks. He's like, now I gave up 3 sacks in the game. He's like, I missed other assignments, but he's like, he didn't.
Not that one.
Not that one.
So yes, we were off yesterday, and that was strategic. That was on purpose. It was not an accident. We were off yesterday. And I'm going to tell you what we did. We took a stand against a tradition that needs to end, and that's what this tradition is. The day after the Super Bowl,
absolutely nothing to do with snow, of course.
No, the day after the Super Bowl should be a holiday. It should be a holiday. It is. Well, let's be honest. The day after the Super Bowl is probably the least productive day of the year for any employee. You don't get anything done that day, because why? Now I understand. Like most people didn't do parties, but we still stayed up late. You had the fatty foods. You had the drinks. Everyone's doing that regardless, even if you're doing it with just your family. I know we were all up eating, drinking, hanging out.
Yo, how was it? You did the J. Cole crockpot.
Bro.
How was it?
Hold the phones. Yeah, listen. That was audible.
That was a power move.
Yeah, so that was one of those things where we were sitting here. Well, first of all, we did it. I gotta tell you this, we did it all wrong because we completely did not keep track of the snow. So Amber had to end up going out 5:00 on Saturday to get all this stuff. She's out for 4 hours because you know how people are. It's going to snow. I need to buy everything in the grocery store. Yep. I'm never going to see groceries again.
Yep.
Instead of buying for 1 week, we're not going to buy for 4 weeks because it's going to snow for a couple hours. The logic is so stupid. Anyway, so she ended up going out and having to be out because of that. So we were sitting here kind of planning out what we wanted to do, and we had a couple things already, but we kind of didn't have that thing we could for me, Super Bowl, I want to have my normal, typical snacks, but I also want to have something I can eat all day. I got to have that all-day food. The food you can just go back to. Some people do the meatballs in the crock pot, maybe hot roast beef sandwiches.
I love all-day food.
Yeah, hot roast beef sandwiches, hot turkey. You gotta have something that you can go to all day. You could start, I'm starting here. I'm going to maneuver all day. So J. Cole last week talked about the chuck roast in the crock pot. Which, after the show, I kind of forgotten about it. So we're sitting here talking, and all of a sudden, I see the J. Cole thought bubble come on my brain. It's like, Marcus, don't forget about the chuck roast. And I just screamed out, chuck roast! Chuck roast! I ran back here, got my notes out, and I broke it down for Amber how this is going to make it happen. But she was like, relax. I know what a chuck roast is. Calm down. She's like, I've seen a chuck roast. I got this. But no, she put it in around 8 in the morning on Sunday. I woke up to just smells, just aromas. I had my first sandwich 12:30, and bro, it was so good, so good. We didn't do anything crazy. It was just salt and pepper, season it nicely, make sure everything was seasoned. We put the au jus in there to get that in there, so you can dump that on your sandwich, whatever. Make it as messy as you want, bro. It was so good. At 12:30, I had 3. Then at 3, I had 1. then at 5, I had another. And then I had a couple drinks. I was watching the game, and then got into the snacks. And at 9:30, I had another sandwich. They were so good.
Big
Shout out
fan.
to J. Cole for that. Huge move. Power move.
I crushed almost a whole tray of cheese and pepperoni myself.
I love it.
That's how I do.
I love it.
I'm the kind of guy. I mean, I've said it before. I come in and crush your hors d'oeuvres.
I like it.
I I'm at a wedding and you see the guy walking around with a tray of little shrimps.
You got it all.
Yo, little shrimp man,
Yeah,
over
yeah.
this way, my friend.
Yeah. The bacon wrap scallops.
Oh, they're done.
Bring it over here.
You might as well just set the whole tray down, my man.
Yeah.
Listen, you're going back to get another tray. You might as well.
Just put it here. I'll take care of this for you.
Yeah.
I'll watch it for you. Make sure it goes to a good place. But yeah,
You're working too hard. You don't got to work around.
right.
Put all the
But
food
yeah,
here.
we need to. The day after the Super Bowl should just be a holiday. No one wants to do anything the day after the Super Bowl. No one.
Did you hear about all the gambling issues with the Super Bowl?
I didn't. No.
So
I had a gambling issue at home from Mike Evans, but I didn't hear about what happened out at the Super Bowl.
No. MGM in Nevada.
Okay.
Their sports book, their app.
Okay.
The one that you see the commercial with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was collecting bets, logging bets, but not actually registering them in the ledger.
No.
So all these people showed up to get paid, and for whatever it took the bet, it took the money out of the account, but never logged the bet within the servers.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes. Now,
no.
apparently they have since reconciled it.
So the people got their money.
Yeah, they have since figured this out.
Okay.
But Metro Police were called to the sports book on Sunday night at MGM Grand to help provide some help, and understandably so. Could you imagine if you would bet, Buccaneers to win,
Yeah.
and you show up, and you're like, "Yo, where's my money?" There's
Yeah.
my money. So
Yeah, and you're kind of looking at the computer, doing a computer thing where they're typing and looking at it. I'm sorry, sir.
yeah, I'm
There's
having
nothing here. And then you're showing your phone. It's right here. I have it right here.
And
That's horrible.
people were like, "Well, why were the cops there?" Well, because are the casinos going to let a bunch of angry people destroy their sports book?
Right.
I mean, I guess people don't at any given point in time in
Yeah.
any casino in the entire country.
Right.
There's about half a dozen state troopers on site 24 hours a day.
As it should.
At busier times, even more. And I'm not talking about regular police. We're talking state troopers of that state.
Well, I like the fact that now you don't really, if you win a lot of money, you don't have to ask to be escorted out anymore. Like, it used to be, like, if you ever won, like, a lump sum, like $35K, you would have to ask for someone to walk you out. Now they do it.
Yeah.
They'll see you, and they'll literally escort you out and make sure you get to your car safely and all that stuff like that. But, like, that's, like, yeah. But I would hope the manager, whoever was there, I would hope he would be smart enough to see, okay, we have 35 to 40 people showing up right now with the same exact problem. We did something wrong. Because the thing is when
so I don't know who the manager of the sports book is at MGM.
Yeah.
But Jay Cornegie is he's the sportsbook director at Westgate.
Mm-hmm.
I know if that happened right away, boom, he'd shut the sportsbook down
Right.
on the spot until he figured it out.
Yeah, because when people get frustrated, they
So
can deal
the
with the
fact that
fact that there was a mistake, but you're now telling me I'm wrong when I know I'm not. That's where you're running the dangers of people getting upset. Because you get someone that's like, yo, okay, hold on a second. I know something. I know I believe you. We need to figure out on our end what's going on. Can you give us that moment? Most people are like, okay, I'll give you a second to figure out. Where you have the problems is you have the person on the other end fighting back with you, telling you you're wrong and you did something wrong when obviously you didn't. That's when it becomes an issue. And now, if one person showed up, one random person, okay, I understand the pushback.
Oh no, this was a
But
whole.
you got a whole bunch
issue.
of people saying the same thing. You then have to be like, okay, this is obviously something on our end. We need to figure this out. But that's that's not a situation I want to ever.
So
be a
that
part
so that
of.
was one. Then I got two big betting things in regards to it. Two individual people. Number one, are you familiar with Mattress Mac?
I'm not.
He's an old guy who he's some rich old guy. I'm not sure how he became so wealthy,
Okay.
but he bets large scale on the Super Bowl. Like we're talking a couple M's.
Couple M's.
Threw 3.6 down on Buccaneers. Walked away with it.
Bro. Matches Matt, living the dream. And he didn't have
Mac.
He didn't have to sweat. That wasn't even a sweater.
Nope.
He was comfortable in second quarter.
Yes.
Sitting back with his champagne.
Did you hear about the streaker?
I know what happened, but I don't know I don't know the insides of
He got paid
to do that.
So he bet $50,000 that there would be a streaker at plus money.
What? No way.
Yes. So
So is that? So wait a minute.
So what he did is he found somewhere to put a bet that it was plus money that there would not be a streaker.
Right.
He put $50,000 on it. He said that it cost him $1,500 to get out of jail, and the bet cashed $380.
So will there be any kind of issues with the fact that he was the streaker?
I mean, does it matter?
I mean, will they take him to court or anything over this?
I mean, he's gonna. Who the betting people?
The betting people, whoever the agency is.
The casino.
You have a gripe here. I mean, it's genius. But if I'm Parks Casino, and you place that here with me, I'm taking you to court. This is going to be a problem.
Why?
Because you hedge your own bet.
So?
Is that legal? Can we do that? I don't know. I think he might have a.
I'll get my man on the line.
Yeah,
we'll bring him in on Thursday and ask him.
We need to ask him about that. Yeah, because I'm interested about what the legalities is of that. I definitely want to talk about that some more.
Tell me that's not.
It's genius.
So what? So here's the
absolutely genius.
The story
no question.
is that him and his buddy were there, and he had his buddy go do it first, so that he would distract security, so that he would be, because the rule is that the person had to get they had to get onto the playing field, onto within the 100 yardage.
That might be a loophole.
Within the 100 yardage, they had to get it within.
Okay.
So his friend basically ran and jumped down. Security ran all over him, giving him the leeway and the opening to go and get onto the field.
Yo, that buddy better get cut of that. You better throw me $60K my way for that.
So.
That's wow. That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, good for him.
You know what my big thing is? Why wasn't I thinking of that?
That's next level thinking, bro. That's above my pay grade. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the actual game. And something that happened in the pregame that made me sad. Bradman in the morning, Marcus, Brad, Justin Emery. We'll be right back. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Brian Emery in the morning. Marques Brown, Justin Emery.
Stonks, go to the moon.
Yes, to the moon now. It's the moon.
Yo, today's National Pizza Day.
Is it?
It is.
I like it.
I like it too. Shout out to Amy's Pizza.
Yeah, facts only. So the game itself.
Boring.
And you know what?
This
I don't
has
know
to be in
about
the
you.
running. This has to be in the running for one of the worst Super Bowls.
I don't know about you. I was looking forward to this game all week. This is for me personally the most anticipated Super Bowl since the Eagles, like heavily anticipated. Like I was excited about this game, and yeah, man, it didn't deliver the way that I thought it would. I thought it'd be more back and forth. I had it more low scoring than most people, and technically I was kind of right. Now, did I think
You were very close.
Did I think Kansas City would score 9 points? Absolutely not. Did I think they wouldn't score a touchdown? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to be as high scoring as a lot of other people did. It just they were now. Listen, Tampa Bay's defense has been playing lights out for the past couple weeks. I do think missing the 2 tackles for Kansas City was definitely a factor. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life almost every drop back. He's going to take more criticism for this game than he should, I believe. I don't think he played nearly as bad as his stats would indicate. If you look and you watch him, he made some throws, and he was let down by a couple guys dropping some balls, which that happens. But I think people focus too much on his performance. I don't think he was the reason why they lost the game. He didn't help them. He didn't win the game for him and make those plays that he typically does. But he didn't lose the game for him either. Sometimes you gotta give respect and give props to the right people. Todd Bowles put together an awesome game plan. Tampa Bay, they were ready, and I think this traces back to when they played back in was it early November or late October, wherever it was. The disrespect that Kansas City showed them on their field. They went. Tyreek Hill went off. Scored. I think it was 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Had over 100 yards in the first quarter. They just went absolutely nuts and went absolutely crazy. And basically speaking, it was definitely no question in my mind that Tampa Bay was not going to allow. That's the one thing I did know. I knew Tyreek Hill would not have near the performance that he had in that first game. But I'm sure Tampa Bay, their defense was embarrassed. And they were not going to allow Tyreek Hill to ruin the game. And he didn't. They held him in check. Now, what I didn't expect they would be able to contain both Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. That's what I did not see coming.
Well, I mean, Kelce had 117 yards receiving.
But it was not. But the thing is, I'm gonna compare that to Mahomes, where Mahomes' stats deceiving, so are Kelce's. They weren't catches that meant really anything. It's like when the Phillies would be up 7-2 and Eric Bruntlett would hit a home run. It doesn't matter. Who cares? that means nothing to me. And that's kind of what Travis Kelce's stats were. It was empty hollow stats that didn't really matter. And honestly, if you look at most of those catches, they came when the Chiefs were down by or they're already down by 20.
Right.
In the meat of the game, they held him in check. Which I didn't see that coming. I thought that he would have more of an impact in the game than he did. And then, listen, Coleman right now is a gimmick guy. He's not a guy you can rely on. He's not Tyreek Hill has turned himself into a good wide receiver, where I don't think Coleman has yet.
Who's Coleman?
For the Chiefs, Macaulay Coleman, wide receiver.
Hardman.
What? Yeah, I don't know why I said Hardman. My bad. So he's turned himself into a good wide receiver. I'm sorry, he hasn't turned himself into a good wide receiver yet. And where Tyreek Hill has turned himself into a really good route runner.
Right, yeah.
And he makes plays where Hartman does it. Hartman's a gimmick guy. He's a touch guy. He's not going to help you. And it didn't help. They didn't really have much of a running game at all, which they needed that badly on Sunday. They didn't really have that.
They started pounding the rock coming into halftime, or coming out of halftime in the start of the second half. They had started what was it, like a 23-yard run or something like that to start the third quarter.
Right.
And I was like, all right, maybe they're gonna start pounding that rock. and that was not the case.
Right. And, you look on the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay's offense was just clicking on all cylinders. Gronk, I thought and predicted Gronk would have a great game. He did. I thought they would use him more as a pass catcher than a blocker. They did. I saw Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, having a game.
I took your your advice on that and took advantage of it.
Yeah, he did. And it worked. It was a perfect storm because while I thought he was going to have a good game, it also worked out that Kansas City is terrible against the run. So it was a perfect storm of that.
They are bad against the
run.
Of
both those things happening. They're also – I'm kind of kicking myself now that I didn't double up and take advantage of his pass catching because, they are also not great with backs out of the backfield either. And he actually had a good game.
He caught a lot of passes.
So
I think that he also saw more snaps than we both anticipated he would see.
Well, it worked out because they got off. They're up 21-6 at halftime. So what are you going to do? You're going to pound the rock. And Tom Brady, I think
even in the first half though, he saw more touches than you thought he was going to. At least than I thought he was going to.
I agree. You fully admit to Tom Brady is at his best when he has a running back that's running well. That's when Tom Brady's at his best.
But you can say that about any quarterback.
Yeah, but him more. I mean, he's not. Tom Brady.
When you got to bring an eighth man into the box.
Yeah. But the play action game's working. Yeah. But him, especially is really good when he has a back he can depend on, or backs he can depend on. The Chiefs pretty much offensively did whatever they wanted. There was never a time, and this is something the Chiefs need to improve in desperately. Is that, listen, I've never been a fan of their defense, and their defense was really bad this year. It was okay last year, but this year was really bad. And they kind of put too much pressure on the offense to score because the offense knew the defense probably was not going to get a lot of stops. And that really showed itself against the Bucs because there was never a time in that game that I was ever comfortable that they were going to get stops. And Tampa Bay punted the ball, maybe once or twice at the most.
I mean, they did start the game, obviously.
Yeah,
I think maybe
like
one.
Yeah, they had 3 and out, and then
I think they did a meaningless fourth quarter punt.
Right, but most of the game they're just moving the ball up and down the field.
Whatever they wanted to do, man.
Right, and like I said, you had Mahomes running for his life out there, was running around, trying to make plays, trying to do whatever he can, and it's interesting with him because I still, even though he lost 31-9, the biggest loss of his career, all that blah blah blah, I still found myself in awe of things he's able to do with the football. He's good. He was at least 5 to 6 times in that game dead to rights, and he still was able to get rid of the ball and almost make plays.
Yeah.
He had a ball that literally jumped off Tyreek Hill's helmet.
In the first quarter,
that he threw where he was literally just, it looked like he was throwing the ball away and it was almost a touchdown. He's absolutely amazing. This to me,
that cost me my SGP though.
Really?
That face mask catch, yeah.
Betting. This to me, this doesn't do anything for him. I don't look at him any differently after this game.
Who?
Mahomes.
Yeah, no.
I don't look at him any differently, and I think people are shocked at the,
I think
how much they won by.
Yeah, I think people are stunned that, it felt like the Chiefs didn't show up yesterday or on Sunday. It literally felt like they just stayed on the bus.
Yeah.
A
lot of aspects. But I think it exposed their deficiencies. Not every team can do this.
And Mahomes looked human all year.
Yes.
And he looked average in the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, he made some spectacular throws, but his performance,
not one of his better games. But they're going to need.
That's got to be.
Get,
I'm assuming that's got to be statistically one of his worst games ever.
They're going to need to find a more traditional wide receiver to match up next to Tyreek Hill.
And
they need to get because Sammy Watkins ain't it.
No,
he's done.
They need some monsters on defense to go with Tyrann Mathieu.
I agree.
They have
Chris Jones. They have Chris Jones.
That's the defensive lineman?
That's it. That's really much it. They have no one else on that defense worth anything. They're so loaded offensively. They can literally spend their first 3 draft picks this year on defenders,
yeah.
which they need to, and maybe You get lucky with a free agent or two, whatever. But they need to get better defense. And like offensively speaking, like I said, they got to find someone more traditional next Tyreek Hill. They just have to. You got to have that guy, that stability guy. And that's what happened yesterday. There's such a big explosion offense.
You know who I'm going to get if I'm the Chiefs to go opposite Tyreek Hill? Ooh. Former Penn Stater. Going to get Allen Robinson. Free agent.
He would, and I'll tell you what, he would be perfect next to them, next to Tyreek Hill. Perfect. Because he's a guy, he can make your big plays for you, but he's more of a traditional
big body receiver.
Big body, out route, in route. He's a safety net. He's comfort food. And that's what that offense is missing.
And you put him with Kelsey and Hill?
Not right. It's not right. And then you have Hartman being able to do the things that make him special. Because I don't know that he's ever going to be a traditional guy. He's just more, like I said, more of a speed man. But
I know it doesn't translate, but I can tell you in Madden, though, Hartman is a problem.
I'm sure. I'm sure that entire offense is a problem.
Yeah, I don't play against people that have
cheat
the Chiefs.
Code. It's cheat code. Yeah. It's like playing. It's like the 17 Warriors. You can't.
Well,
play with
what
that
they
team.
did, they put X factors into the game now. So there's this thing where certain players have the ability to do different things.
Yeah.
Well, Mahomes has this X factor called bazooka, where he can basically just throw like the whole length of the field. But when you're running with Tyreek Hill, who's the fastest player in the game, and you just run a go pattern, as long as you just don't sack him,
right.
Mahomes can throw end zone to end zone.
Yeah, it's silly. Absolutely,
it's infuriating.
Silly. Yeah, it is. And like,
even when I'm rocking out with Lamar,
the first couple drives, I was like, you saw they were like Tampa Bay was doing a good job covering on the field, but Mahomes was ruining it for you by getting those 10 to 12-yard runs. So I was like, okay, he's going to keep doing this. It's going to open up down the field.
But
that never happened because Tampa Bay's rush increased. Like Shaq Barrett played out of his mind.
Can we talk about
Ndamukong Suh was insane.
Can we talk about my man Devin White?
Bro, D.
Can
White.
we talk about him?
D. White to me, if you ask me, is the MVP of the playoffs for Tampa Bay. He ruined games. Like he to me is the big reason why they beat the Saints. Remember, he had that huge strip fumble.
He's a monster.
He's an absolute beast. And it's interesting with Tampa Bay.
When Luke Kuechly retired, it opened the door for him to become the Now a lot of people will give it to who's the guy for San Francisco? Fred Warner, I think his name is. Middle line. A lot of people say he's the best linebacker.
Yeah.
In the NFL. Once Kuechly retired, right there.
Devin White. Yeah.
Devin White.
I mean,
now you got T.J. Watt. He's a little bit different kind of linebacker.
Right.
You got Darius Leonard for the Colts.
Darius Leonard. Yep.
You got Devin Bush from the Steelers.
Right.
A guy who I like, he's only a rookie, but I think he's going to be good, is Patrick Queen from the Ravens.
Okay.
Who actually college.
The Ravens just grow linebackers.
Well, he was college teammates with Devin White.
Okay.
At LSU.
Okay.
But back to Devin White though, he's
real
the guy.
Real quick, I got to bring this up because this is something we missed sorely with our Super Bowl pre-coverage that you just reminded me of. How do we not talk about the fact that Rob Gronkowski and James Harden were on the campus at Arizona State at the same time? How do we not talk about probably the legendary party stories of those two on a college campus at the same time?
Ooh.
Name a more iconic duo, partying-wise, than could you imagine Gronk and Harden on the campus at the same time at Arizona State? Are you kidding me?
Ooh.
Let that sink in.
I'm doing some research real quick. Hold on.
Let that sink in.
Hold on.
I mean, I think they only overlapped for about maybe a year or two, maybe. But they were there at one point at the same time.
07 to 09 was Harden.
Okay. And Gronk was in that range too. So I don't know if they were there all 3-4 years together, but they definitely overlapped. And I'm sure there's some, like, I would love to sit down Gronk with a beer and be like, bro, tell me about James Harden off the field. And then turn around, Harden. Tell me about Gronk off the field.
He was well, I wish they could just like tell you, what. Wait. See.
What's happening?
See, this is the issue.
What's the matter?
Man, I got to stop just taking everything you say as being correct. Because I thought you may have been incorrect slightly.
He was there. I looked it up. He was there.
Gronk was at Arizona, not Arizona State.
Oh, I thought, okay. All right. Well, they're still in the same state.
Gronk was there when Nikki Sixx was there.
Okay. There you go. They're still in the same state though. I'm sure there's some
I'm sitting there. I was
cross-memory.
like, how? Like when you told me that, I was like, how is this the first time I've ever heard this?
That's my bad.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Never happened. So something made me sad before the Super Bowl.
Talk to me.
So they built this game as the tagline was. I didn't see this leading up to the game. Maybe it happened during the week, but it was definitely something they built up during the day, and they labeled it the GOAT versus the best right now. And
I did hear that.
amazing tagline. Kudos to whoever came up with that. But it made me sad, and this is why. We should have had this 21 years ago. So the Bulls, 98, win their championship, their last championship, and no one there wanted it to end. They all wanted to stay, but management, Jerry Krause, wanted no parts of it. Fired Phil, wanted to trade Scotty, told Jordan, listen, you can come back, but we're rebuilding. He didn't want to be part of that, so he retires. What if they stay together, though? They stay together. I think they win 99, the shortened year. Setting up in 2000, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers versus the Bulls. So you're getting the GOAT versus the best right now. We should have had that.
The Lakers would have won because by that point in time,
And maybe you're right.
The Bulls were too old by that time.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but we still should have gotten it. It should have happened. We should have had the opportunity to see that play out in front of our eyes. We should have had that theater of a Jordan versus Kobe NBA Finals. And then you get – because Jordan already said, like, listen, he was like, I wanted to have the opportunity to defend my title till I couldn't defend it anymore. I wanted to have the opportunity to have someone take it away from me. And as obviously as competitive Jordan is, the only like one of the few guys that he would be, listen, he's not happy about it, but he would be okay taking that mantle is Kobe, his protege. What great theater that would have been.
He's a big Kobe guy.
Yeah, we would have we deserved that. I'm sad we didn't get it.
I hear you.
Yo, listen, we're gonna take a break.
Yes, sir.
And when we come back, we got a major Pennsylvania controversy happening.
Do we?
We do. And Twitty actually mentioned this a little bit.
I was going to ask if it involved potholes.
It's not involved potholes. It involves.
Because I have some potholes with the state of Pennsylvania, issues with the state of Pennsylvania regarding some potholes.
It involves food and gas. Brad Memory in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery, right back. Hi, I'm Marcus Brown. I'm here to talk to you today about Uncle Mike's homemade ice cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium-quality gourmet ice cream and sorbet. Made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available, Uncle Mike features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's homemade ice cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster. It's open all year round, serving you happiness one scoop at a time. Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy's has a plethora of pizza for your munching pleasure, specialty pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, taco, and plenty more. If it's sandwiches you're into, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options, but they are also available on Grubhub. Amy's is located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Call them at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000.
All day.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brad Memory Morning. Marcus, Brad, Justin Emery. Justin on break was teaching me about the days of the week.
Yeah, we learned during the break that Marcus can't read a calendar.
Yeah. Teaching children.
It's okay.
My days are all messed up right now.
Listen, I used to have such a hard time reading a face clock. So in my apartment, I had one over the sink in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Face clock. It's just standard regular, just so I knew what it was. But one of my friends one time, he comes over and he's like, "Hey, your clock's wrong." I'm like, I play it off all nonchalant. I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
We'll fix it.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And I get up there, and I'm just spinning the dial.
You have no idea what's going on.
I'm spinning he goes, "Still not right."
Well, in all fairness, with your generation, you guys weren't really taught clock like we were.
Well, here's the thing. I was like, I don't know how to read this thing. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing up here. I was like, every time. I was like, do you know what I do when I need to know what the time is? He's like, what? I was like, Alexa, what time is it? I was like, that's what I do to know.
I mean, this to me, I mean, you're almost 10 years younger than me, and this to me doesn't surprise me at all because like with me, our generation, we were like that was enforced. Like you had to know how to read a face clock. Like even though things were starting to go digital, you had to learn how to read a face clock. By the time
I can read like my watch, but it's also like part of that is also like, all right, the sun's up.
Yeah.
So this can only be one of two times.
Yeah, right. Yo, can you think of anything that caused more anxiety in school than popcorn reading for some people? Do you ever do the popcorn reading?
Yeah.
People would be stressed. Like you get that thing with like you be reading and you look up, you're ready to done a passage, and you have that kid like, no, don't call me. Don't call on me. I always call him that kid. I'm like, Bob.
Well, I'd get like a lot of people, but like I was a good reader. Like, I could,
me too. Yeah,
if all you had to do was read out loud instead of to yourself.
Right. Well, that gave some people major anxiety. That may have been the beginning of anxiety for some people with popcorn reading.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had a good friend of mine who was not the best reader or speller.
Yeah,
but I would pick him anyway because
it's funny.
It's so funny,
but it's so mean.
It was.
It's
listen,
just. I mean, it is. It was. Listen, I'm not gonna say I did not giggle to myself when I heard that kid stuttering over words.
And it's even funnier when like they're your friend.
Yeah.
Like if it's someone that you don't like, it gets to a point where you're like, all right, this is annoying.
Yeah.
When it's one of your friends, you just keep laughing.
Yes.
Like I had a good friend of mine growing up who could not spell or like one of those people that just were not good at spelling and reading and all that. Right. Man, I remember one time, you know how you used to like, it's like, all right, well, we'll read the answers out, give it the test to the person next to you and let somebody else grade it.
Yeah.
Man, this guy would routinely get under 20s on his tests. I remember one time, like, I would sit there and I'd be like, I want to just like give him like extra points, but he can't do it.
Couldn't figure it out.
I
remember the kid, like the kids too, that were actually good readers, but when they had to read in front of the class, it all went downhill. Like they couldn't handle the idea of reading in front of people. So like they would be like, you would have them like in a small group because sometimes you popcorn read with like 3 or 4 kids, and you just go in a circle, and it's just like you just take turns reading going around. But then you do the class ones when it was like your class of 25, 30 people, and that's when like they couldn't handle it.
So you know how you used to do the spelling bees?
Yeah.
Everybody would stand up, and then if you got it wrong, you'd go sit down, and then the last person standing would win.
Yeah.
Well, there was this girl in my class who she would always win. Like, I don't know what she's doing now, but the fact that she's not the president proves that she's failed. Okay? So
she was a goat.
Yeah, whatever she's doing now, she's not the president, so she has failed at whatever she's doing. Well, she lost the one time, and she just burst out crying.
No.
Just like, and I wanted to just be like, you've won it, like, every time.
It's
like,
that competitive nature.
So the thing is, one of my friends had won it, but here's how he won it on shenanigans technicality. He spelt the word wrong, and the judge said it was right.
That's controversy. That's why she was upset.
No. It was spells it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Judge says yes. Later found out it's wrong, but you got given the yes, so you move on.
Right.
Next, her turn. She gets it wrong. So he has to come back and get it right. And
so he gets it right the second time.
And he's given a softball for the second one.
Oh, man. He went from, like, encyclopedia to from.
Yeah, pretty much.
So listen, we got a controversy brewing.
Yeah, and it's not spelling bee related.
It's not. John Fetterman, Lieutenant Governor.
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor, Senate candidate. Oh, Justin stood up. He's excited about this. Has come on record saying Sheetz is better than Wawa.
Oh yeah, he's done this multiple times.
And the hysteria is going up. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I don't know much about Sheetz. I have eaten at Sheetz. I've eaten there a couple times, but I don't know much about Sheetz. However, I hope you agree with this when I say this. We got to stop with the Wawa worship.
Oh yeah.
We got to stop. Like, listen, I used to be a Wawa fanatic back in the day. Like, Wawa, little building Wawa, was it. Like, when it was the small, little, no gas station Wawa, like, Wawa was a very, very good sandwich. Wawa was, like, one of my best sandwiches. I'll tell you a story. This is actually pretty funny. I used to work in Dolestown. I used to teach in Dolestown. And we had a Wawa, like, right up the street. Like, literally, like, 5 minutes up street. Really quick drive. And then, so I would go there for lunch a lot, like, on my break. And also, too, I would go out in Dolestown a lot. So that, a lot of times, was like, the after-hour spot. Because that's when Wawa was really good food. Before the kiosk, when you had to talk to someone, that's the Wawa I remember. So we'd go out, do our thing, and then we go to Wawa and get hoagies or whatever. One night, I was bored. You know what? This is early kiosk days. I was bored one night. So I started adding all of these ingredients. I don't even know. I'm just putting all of these things together, like whatever, just freestyle, whatever. Take this sandwich home, like the greatest sandwich of my life, like so good. Like I was like rolling my eyes back in my head, like it was amazing. Go to work on Monday. I'm like, I want that sandwich again. The problem is I couldn't remember what I ordered. I don't know. I have no idea what I did. So for the next 3 weeks, I went to Wawa every day and got some variation of a sandwich. And when it was wrong, I would put it in my classroom. I had like a board. I would put it on the board like I was solving a crime scene. I would stand back and be like, so I don't think it didn't have tomato. Maybe it had pesto. And then I would start combining things. I finally, 3 weeks later, got the sandwich that I got.
What was it?
Wasn't as great. It was like literally, it was all sorts of random stuff. It was just random ingredients on a sandwich. I couldn't tell you right now, but I remember it being like.
That's like my tuna and turkey sandwich.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta get creative.
So
where are you at on this? Like, 'cause for me,
Wawa,
I'm out. I'm out on Wawa anyway.
So I'm gonna get killed by a lot of people about this.
Okay.
I think Wawa sucks.
Now yes.
Outside of the meatball sandwich, I will crush their meatball sandwich.
And their chicken noodle soup is delicious also.
The chicken noodle soup's good. And I do like their sizzly breakfast sandwiches because they're easy to just grab on the way in.
And even the sandwich that they do the pepperoni and cheese.
Yeah.
And those are good.
Any of those breakfast
those
sandwiches.
are good too. But go ahead. I'm like continue.
And I like the cheese-filled pretzels.
Yes.
Okay? So I like that.
You just named like 7 items, by the way.
Yeah. but like their hoagies,
terrible.
I don't want any of that. Like they now do brisket. I don't even want to try
brisket mac and cheese.
Yeah, I don't even want to try that. That's not ever going to come across. Like I will never spend money on that, and I will never eat that for free. Which means I will never ever ever have it.
Listen, bottom line, Wawa is living off a reputation they created 20 years ago.
Yeah. Now Sheetz. Let me tell you a little bit about Sheetz.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
I don't know much about Sheetz.
I'm a big Sheetz fan.
Okay.
Discovered them because at Penn State they don't have Wawas. They only have Sheetz.
Yes.
So that's where I was first introduced to it.
Yeah.
You need it. Couple things. Number one, significantly larger menu. Significantly larger. You want burritos, you want tacos, you want pizza, mozzarella sticks, onion rings.
They got it.
Hoagie.
It's done.
What do you want? Done. That's number two. I think it's higher quality ingredients.
Stop for 1 second because
Yes.
this is very important that we have to acknowledge.
Okay.
You just hit on a huge point there.
Wawa's
This
not
is
the
problem.
same of what it used to be.
No, this is the problem is that this is what you run into when you expand. They've expanded and become a major company. So when you become a bigger company, a lot of time your ingredients go by the wayside. Like I don't think their bread is as good. I don't think their meat's as good. Everything is taking a downward trot.
See, like I remember after baseball, basketball, whatever, going to Wawa, and I'd get like a turkey hoagie.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was like the meal of meals.
Oh yeah.
Now it's like, oh man, I guess I gotta go eat Wawa.
That's what it is.
Thing open.
Yo, that's how whenever like when pre-pandemic when we would go out and stuff like that, Wawa was always the last resort. And it was always, resort. It was always on like like the New Year's Eves when everything else is closed.
Like I said,
or like
don't sleep though on their meatball sub. I will say their meatball.
Yeah. Well, I would do
their
actually.
Meatball sub. Did I tell you the story about when I ran into Cassidy at Wawa?
What?
Like the rapper on Spring Break.
I know who Cassidy is. What? No, you didn't tell me that story.
So this is like
the hustler at Wawa.
Yeah, at the Wawa on Limekiln Pike at like 3:00 in the morning.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
So I was home for spring break,
mm-hmm.
and I was starving. It's like 2:30, 3:00 in the morning. I was like, all right.
Okay.
So I go real quick to the Wawa in Willow Grove. Don't have any meatballs. All right, fine, whatever. That's all I wanted was a meatball sandwich. Didn't want anything else.
That's how you're feeling.
So I was like, all right. I quick drive to the Wawa in Glenside.
Okay.
No meatball subs.
No good.
Like, all right. So boom, quick. I'm like, I look on my phone. There's one. I was like, this is the last one I'm gonna go. If they have it, they have it. They don't, they don't.
Right.
Running there, they got meatballs. So I order and I'm waiting there. You know how you're waiting at the register?
Yeah.
You're waiting at the counter.
Right.
I'm looking at my phone and I hear this voice. Now, I shouldn't know anybody, at that hour, over that way. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I know this voice. I look over. I look down. He's talking to the woman who's making the sandwiches. And
was he by himself or was he with people?
Well, at this exact moment when I saw him, he was by himself. In this particular moment, he was by himself. Now, I know what he looks like. He's not a very big guy.
No, not at all.
But what really gave it away is the scars down the side of his face. I happen to be looking at that side of him.
Right.
So I noticed the scars.
Yeah.
At this point, so I'm just like, I guess he can feel somebody's looking at him.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just kind of gives me this side look. I look over him. I'm like, are you who I think you are? He goes, well, who do you think I am? I was like, are you Cassidy? And he just like nods his head. And I was like, big fan. Pleasure to meet you. I just got my
Kept
food.
Moving, yeah.
Got my food and walked out. And he was just like, oh, thanks. I start walking. Jag and Ab are at the register paying.
What?
Yes, they're at the register like paying for the food.
You got Philly legends in the building.
And I was just like, oh, okay.
That's insane. Wow. And at the Limekiln, wow, that's
at
random.
the Limekiln at like 3:00 in the morning.
That's so random, but that's amazing.
And like I said, the only reason I ended up there is because the other Wawas that were closer didn't have what I was looking for.
So by the way, we're talking.
But back to I'm full blown sheets.
Yeah, we're talking. So we're talking sheets. And we're talking Wawa. Royal Farms entered the chat.
Oh, they're number one over. They're over everything.
Royal Farms changed my life. Do you remember when we were in Baltimore?
Yes.
The lanes we went to get to Royal Farms.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah, like Royal Farms is that's another place that we don't talk about. And Wawa has this reputation.
See, I was very lucky because I discovered Royal Farms literally as I was leaving Pennsylvania and moving to Maryland.
Yeah.
They had just opened one in Pennsylvania. Little did I know I was going to the founding location of it. I ate so much Rofo in Maryland.
Yeah. I mean,
like their chicken is
it's different. Like I had friends that I wrestled with in Cecil County, Maryland, which is literally just over when you cross over. Like it's like you can get to it by like Route 1 if you keep driving. It's over that way. They had a Royal Farm like 10 minutes from our house. So I had it like 20 years ago, and I was like, oh, this is good. But I've kind of forgot about it. But man, the past couple years, because there's one right up on 309.
There's one on 309. Yeah. There's one that's right down on Aramingo Avenue.
Yeah, and their chicken sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like this. Like
here's the thing. You know what I don't like though about them? And so they've introduced the spicy.
Love the spicy. Love that idea.
But here's the thing. I've had it 3 times so far. All 3 times I've gotten the spicy, burnt. Every time.
It's no good.
So I don't know if it's the way that they're cooking the spicy or there's some kind. But every time, and it's been 3 separate Royal Farms I've been to. It hasn't all been 3 separate ones.
Right.
Burnt.
Yeah, I mean
the Chesapeake sauce.
Yes. But I bought, like when we were in Baltimore, I bought like the entire store for like $30. Like they're reasonably priced too. Like it's not even that expensive. Like I remember like Amber first of all thought I was dead. I was gone for like 3 hours. Like at 2 a.m.
Gone for a while.
I was gone like 4.
You were gone for a long period of time.
We had Uber issues.
Yeah,
I almost got left by the Uber in like a sketchy part of Baltimore. We went to Sketchtown.
Yeah, you were not in a good area of Baltimore.
No. And I knew I need to get out of there. Thank God the Uber waited. The Uber was patient enough to wait for our order. And
yeah, you were. Where were we at? We were. Oh. Yeah, no, we were.
We were not in a place to be.
No.
That was not where we need to be. So luckily, I was able to get across the street into the Uber and get out of there. But like we ended up, we went to the one. There was one right by our hotel. And it was closed for some reason. So we were like, oh no, this mission isn't over. We're looking and trying to find a ride to get there to get to the place we want to get.
Now, for me, luckily for me, it wasn't too far from where I was staying.
Right.
So but for you, it was.
But listen, moral of the story is leave John Fetterman alone. He's absolutely correct. Wawa's trash.
Yeah, he is.
Get over it. Everyone needs to stop with the Wawa praise. It's over.
The only
had a
thing,
good run.
You know what Wawa's good for? Surcharge-free ATMs and cheap gas.
Yes, I'm okay with that. But also we have the Giant too, so there's that.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Actually, is there? So Wawa is started in Delaware, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very synonymous with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We
claim it.
Are there more Wawas anywhere than the Jersey Shore?
No. But and Wawa Jersey Shore Wawa is my favorite because that's where you start your day.
Oh yeah.
Like you go in there, you can get your sandwich for the day, and like listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you were I don't know if it's still this way now, but I'm gonna talk about back in my prime when I was still single and going out. Listen, if you will not find any more beautiful women just randomly hanging out than a Wawa on the morning of a shore day. Like those Wawas down there.
Those Wawas are
those
like
New
clubs.
Jersey Wawa. Yeah, you go in the especially in the morning time because everyone's getting their supplies for the beach. You're getting your water, you're getting your Gatorades, you're getting your sandwiches. Everyone's doing all that stuff. So you wanna have a moment. Just walk into the Wawa.
Wait until I take you.
See what happens.
Wait until I take you to Club Moss.
Club Moss.
Club Moss.
That's where it's at.
That's the DJ Taco Bell I told you about.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Club Moss.
Listen, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, I gotta talk about a movie I watched on Friday that we need to discuss. Brad in the morning.
Was it a new movie?
Yes. Brad in the
I
morning.
probably haven't seen it.
Marcus, Brad, and Justin. We'll be right back. So we had family movie night.
Okay.
Family movie night on Friday night.
Okay.
We had heard Amber had heard about this movie, and like it also I'm not gonna put this person on blast because the person didn't see the movie, and she gave a blind recommendation. However,
you deserve to get on blast. If you're giving blind
I will say that's a bad idea. If you haven't seen it, don't put your name on it. Don't do that. Because like here's the deal with me, Rick. I don't know how you feel the same way. If someone recommends me something and it's not good, I automatically look at that person differently. We now have a different relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you recommend something, say, yo, you got to do this, you got to try this, you got to go here, you got to do this, and it sucks.
Yeah, because now
you're on the list.
Your credibility is shot now.
Like, for instance, my best friend is Jason, recommended Breaking Bad to me. I didn't get into Breaking Bad on the ground floor. I got into the last season. I was able to watch seasons 1 through 4 in binge mode, and then season 5, which was split, I was able to watch that as it was happening. Right. But he recommended that to me. He also gave me Ray Donovan, which is a great show. So he has like his credit of recommending things. He's a perfect
A+. He's got good credit.
A+. So even if he gives me a bad one, which he has, he gave me a documentary. I was like, you gave me Breaking Bad and Ray Donovan. We're good.
Now, what would you do if one of your very, very good close friends was against pork roll?
Oh, I don't know if we could be friends anymore. But that's absurd.
Yeah.
Like pork roll is universal.
Because I have a friend who has a very good recommendation credit score.
Okay.
Except that he's firmly against pork roll.
Well, I don't understand
why.
Like
firmly against pork roll.
Like, are you against the idea of America?
I don't
understand.
He even described it to me as the most disgusting meat on the planet.
No, that's easily Scrapple.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
what do you do?
Spam's pretty bad.
Spam's up there. But what do you do?
Like
what is he doing with his pork roll? Like I don't understand.
He doesn't eat pork roll.
You don't want that on a breakfast sandwich?
No. Give him bacon. He said.
I like bacon too, but pork roll can come too. He can come to the party also. Bacon's a VIP.
He is firmly against pork. I've had full-scale debates with him on pork roll, and he will not eat it.
Like in the Breakfast Club, Bacon's a VIP member.
Okay.
Like Bacon, like you got the velvet rope. Come in front of the line, Bacon. Come on in. You know what I mean? But pork roll's in the line, and pork roll's getting in.
Pork roll's invited to the club.
Pork roll's in the club.
Pork roll's coming in. He's sitting at the table. He's
at the table, definitely. He has a VIP. He has a VIP table. Pork roll has bottle service, where Bacon has VIP access. Yeah. Like Bacon's coming through the kitchen.
Yeah,
like he's getting the kitchen entrance.
He's getting walked in through the back door.
Absolutely. But pork roll is definitely pork roll's at the table, and pork roll's bottle service. He has the bottle girls coming over with the fireworks. Yeah, that's happening. Absolutely. What? That's bad. But you look at people differently when they recommend bad things to you. You just do. And like, so this movie, it's supposed to be a kid's.
I'm glad that you didn't. I'm glad that you enjoyed the pickle witch. I didn't want to have to be getting you sideways looking at me over that.
Yeah. Well, listen. I literally said like discontinue the relationship forever. It sucks.
I said, listen. I understand you're eating a pickle with spicy mayo on it.
But you were on point, so your credit score's rising. I think the first thing recommended, you're on the rise. Yeah. It's like credit sets me. Your score's booming.
Yes.
So this is a kids movie. So we're obviously gonna watch it with the kids. The movie's called Soul. For those of you out there, yeah,
was it on Netflix or?
It was Disney Plus.
Okay.
So my question out of this, I know you haven't seen it, so I'm gonna describe some things that happened. Like, I just don't know if we're making movies for children anymore or for adults that are cartoons so children can sit there with them. And like this movie, so it starts off with this guy. He's a music teacher, right? And he goes like he's one of those guys that like. He's trying to live his dreams.
Music teachers.
Yeah, he's trying to live his dream. He wants to do like music full time. His mom's kind of down a little bit. So I kind of thought this was going to be, okay, it's about living your dreams. Cool. I like this. I'm a huge opponent of living your best life, living your dreams. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. First 15 minutes are solid. So he finally goes and he gets this gig with this jazz musician he always wanted to work with. He gets hired. So he's all excited. He's bopping around the streets. He almost gets hit by a car, but he's still bopping. He's happy. He falls into a manhole, a sewer, right?
Okay.
So you think it's like a cartoon falling in the sewer. Like, okay, he's going to get up and go on his day. No, Justin. Dead. He was dead. The look on my daughter's face, the look on her face And our face, we were like, did they just kill him? He goes, they have this thing. So basically the premise of the movie is it's about your soul. And he becomes a mentor to a soulless person trying to get to Earth. This is real. I know I know it's crazy, but this is real. So it
Am I talking to you or am I talking to Twitty right now?
Right. It ends up where he decides that he's gonna. And it's long story short. I don't need to break out the whole thing, but long story short, he decides that he's gonna stay up in because he wanted to get back to Earth himself, but he decides he's gonna stay up in wherever he is in some kind of alternate universe, so this little thing can go down and live their life. But he gets a second chance to live his life. Now, out of all of that, like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, my kids were traumatized after this. Like, I'm literally like, I'm not even joking. I went to my daughter after we watched. I was like, "Hey, seriously, are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Listen, I know that was a lot, but like, she's like, "Yeah, it was really, really creepy." Like, at one point they had like a demon chasing around someone else's soul. Like, it was a lot, and like, I just feel like we're on this slippery slope now with kid movies where we're trying to get, and it's all started with Toy Story. Toy Story did it, and Toy Story is one of my favorite movies ever. It did an amazing job of fusing adult jokes, but also being for kids. And they weaved it perfectly. It was a perfect marriage of that. So Pixar, which did Soul, they get down this now where, okay, this is the formula. We get the kids, we get the parents, we get the kids, we get the parents. And they did Inside Out a couple years ago, which was a little dark, but still did an amazing job talking about feelings and helping kids understand their feelings. Soul, that ain't it. You can't do that anymore to people. Like, kids are we can't be talking about death with the kids. It was just too much. And even for Amber and I, we were both like, should we turn this off? Like, is this something we should be watching together? Like, should we just, but it was like, okay, let's just see it through. But like, we were on high alert, like, we may have to turn this off and go watch something else or do something else. Cause like, and that's not good. Like, as a kid's movie, that should never be something I need to do.
Yeah.
And like, it was
sounds intense.
Bro, they killed the man off in 15 minutes. He was dead. Like
that's like I told you about the claymation commercial, or the claymation movie for kids I saw.
Yeah.
That's not for kids. And I only played I played like I played a 2-minute clip of that for you. And you were visibly disturbed after 2 minutes of that.
Yeah, we're running a dangerous game where we got to stop.
That's the dark side of YouTube, though.
Yeah, we got.
You don't want to end up there.
I don't end up there. No, you got to stop. You got to stop with this whole thing with we're marketing for kids, but we're really for adults, because we're running out. The thing that's upsetting to me is like, family movie night was a big deal when I was a kid. Like, watching a movie with your parents or your mom or your dad or whatever, or your grandma, whatever you want to say. It was a huge deal to get the popcorn out and be able to enjoy a movie together. It was a nice experience. But I feel like it's hard to do that now because you literally have no idea when you put on the screen what you're going to be watching with your children. It's terrible. So here, learn 2 things right here. Number 1, Soul, that ain't it. Number 2, no blind recommendations.
Oh yeah.
And number 3, I will definitely look at you differently if you recommend something crazy and I'm not with it.
Yeah.
And pork roll is amazing in the club.
Oh, absolutely. Real quick about music teachers. They were like a joke in my grade school. Music teachers.
Every school.
Yeah.
Every school.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Like from like 1st grade through 4th grade, we had the same music teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like every, it was consistent. From 5th grade through 8th grade, we in like those, what was it, 4 years?
Yeah.
We had no exaggerations, like 10 music teachers.
What?
Yeah. It was like sometimes we had 2 or 3 music teachers within the same year.
Well, because a lot of them are like failed musicians, like musicians that like want to be doing something else. They don't want to be there.
I remember the one time it was like, she's like, all right, we're gonna pick songs to listen to and learn about, and she would give us this catalog that was like she had all the songs.
Yeah.
And I picked Fly Like an Eagle.
Nice.
I was like, put this on. And I was like, I don't know this song, but I was like, I've heard this song on the radio.
I like it.
So this song probably came out at least before I was, or while I was still,
right.
alive.
Right.
But yeah, music teachers.
No good. So listen, we're
those who can do, those who can't teach, and those who can teach Jim.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Follow me at Marcus B. Tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on Twitter.
Anywhere else?
No.
Okay.
Nah, not
Brian
worth it.
Memory
Not worth
Pod
it.
everywhere. And there will be no show tomorrow because we have things we need to do. But we'll be back on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Thursday,
With-
Friday, double.
With a
Double.
lot of things to talk about.
Ready to roll.
Heavy NBA. And until next time.
The MVP campaign pushes on.
Yes, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.